So hi, I'm Fraser, I'm CEO of Cheqd, where we're building payments infrastructure for decentralized ID, and then decentralized reputation with creds for gaming and communities, something like a gamer passport and all the analytics that come off the back of that.
This is Fraser Edwards from Cheqd. We caught up with him in Singapore at Token 2049. And of course, while people go to these kinds of conferences to promote their products, Fraser brought up something very important. That is the crucial importance of decentralized infrastructure. Because if our Web3 infrastructure isn't going to be of the highest quality and decentralized at the same time, then really what incentive are we going to have to switch away from that point from existing Web 2 legacy technologies? And so today we're asking Fraser some questions. We're going to be learning more about Cheqd. We're also going to be asking those same questions of two other very high potential altcoins in the infrastructure space. It is all about infrastructure. Welcome to the channel. My name is Maddie and this is Altcoin Buzz. All the best of luck if you choose to invest, whether you're making plays into infrastructure sectors of crypto and corresponding altcoins or otherwise. Whatever the case may be, I do wish you well. But I am not a financial or investment advisor. Just remember that. And also, by extension, remember that this video is not official financial or investment advice. So as I mentioned, our first high potential infrastructure project in the altcoin space is Cheqd. They are all about decentralized ID and data control.
I think for us, so the big thing that we're solving for is data ownership. So for us, it's very much getting data back from companies to individuals and under their control and ownership. I think for us, it's less around for us around Web3 and more around that ownership side of things. I think for me, what we're waiting for is people to have that experience of ownership and control, and then expecting it from everyone that they interact with. So for me, we need more of these experiences. We need to put more people in control, more people in ownership, and eventually they're going to start demanding it from companies. So for me, the biggest thing is just building more of these use cases out with our partners so that more people have that experience and demand that from the companies that they work with. And for us, that then translates into bringing millions to billions of people into Web3 through ownership and control, even if they don't know that's what they're doing.
Data control and ownership is what Cheqd is all about. The idea here is that your data is stored in a decentralized way and you control who accesses what part of that data. As Cheqd CEO Fraser Edwards just said, many of us now see that we've given too much information to the likes of Facebook, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, others as well. And because of that, there's a very real use case for blockchain to allow for the use and inclusion of similar apps, but with the important difference of the control of our data staying with us. He says, we agree by the way, that this is the time to hit it hard with this use case. People are finally starting to see how much they have given away for free. Fraser outlines it pretty cleanly here. They are building decentralized online credentialing and self-governing IDs.
So we've certainly seen, even though the AI hype has died down, I think, we're starting to see genuine, what is genuine in that category. So what we're seeing a lot of is things like content credentials. So something like 50 to 60% of the world went to elections this year. So fake content, fake news, all this kind of stuff is a genuine problem. So obviously a lot of that is AI generated. It makes fraud easier, makes disinformation easier. So what we're seeing as a counter to that is things like content credentials where people are then using blockchain, decentralized ID credentials to counter that. So if you have an image, how do you know it's real? Where do you know that it came from? Can you trace the lineage of you have an original image, then all of the edits? How does that work together? And I think for us, that's it's still within the AI category, but it's blending AI and decentralized ID and credentials into verified AI. So I think that is still a direction of travel, and especially around IP and monetizing IP. So we think, somewhere between IP, content credentials, and I would personally love for ourselves decentralized ID to become one again. I think obviously there haven't been that many events of token, but then we've seen so much adoption this year, and there's regulations coming across Europe that I would hope that the next run includes kind of decentralized ID in there. I think mergers consolidation is going to be a big one. So obviously the first one that everyone is aware of is ASI. But we are also bringing across DOC onto our network. So we're merging DOC into Cheqd. So we are having like consolidation with one of like our historic maybe competitors is now a partner, and now we can work together and we're aligned. So I think also consolidation is going to be a big one this market cycle.
So according to Fraser, there's a little bit less hype out there when it comes to AI as kind of being the savior of every industry out there. Now that we're settling in with this technology, we're realizing that there are some better and some worse use cases out there, but certainly there are some tangible ones where we can really apply artificial intelligence. And this is especially true in content and credentialing and verifying real content from fake content, from basically differentiating the two. With so many elections going on right now, including the major US presidential election coming up in about a month, actually, fake content trying to pass off as real content is everywhere. And Fraser calls this union of AI with decentralized IDs and credentials verified AI. I like it. I think it's important. I think there's a lot of actually demand for this kind of thing. More than demand, I'd say there's a requirement for this kind of thing given the landscape of the world right now. And then Fraser talks about mergers and partnerships in the industry and how they're working together with Doc to get seamless decentralized ID all over crypto. We've got some more footage from Cheqd during our interview with them at Token 49 in Singapore. In fact, we have the entire video available on our website for you to take a look at if you so choose. I'll link to that in the description below. And if you check that out, you can also hear about what other projects Fraser likes in the industry, including which L1s and L2 he's high on, and what building on Cosmos has been like as far as an experience for Cheqd for the project. The CHEQ token, that's CHEQ, is available on both centralized exchanges and DEX options, with the DEX options being the usual suspects when it comes to Cosmos, so Osmosis, Kujira, and Uniswap. Check out their website. I'll link to that in the description below. Next up here, and another big player in the infrastructure space, we're taking a look at PEAQ. And this project is specifically creating the infrastructure that other DePIN projects need. DePIN, of course, standing for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks. PEAQ is also getting a ton of adoption at this stage already in the early phases of the bull run. And as the decentralized infrastructure player in the crypto space, they are a lot more than just IoT, Internet of Things. You could argue that they're very much the economy of things.
All our data that's been accumulated over the past years is in the hands of a few big corporations, and there's tremendous power to it, having that data. And once I spoke to a politician and she said, as long as things are fine, people are like, okay, I don't care about my privacy because I trust them. It's all going to be good. But you never know who's going to be in power in 5 or 10 years. You never know who's going to have access to that data in the future and is able to abuse it or has a negative impact, because she grew up in Eastern Germany when there was still the Soviet Union, and she experienced how state control has a negative impact on your life, how you really get observed and all of that. So I think we really need to be careful, and the EU made some good progress in terms of data regulations. And now with Web3, as you said, without diving into it yet, but we get the opportunity to do things differently and to structure data ownership and control in a different way, while it's still being able to have social media platforms and use that, beautiful innovation and those products to actually connect on a different level, because they bring a lot of value, right? They connect the world in a way it wasn't possible before.
So this is co-founder of PEAQ, Leonard Dorlachter. And as you just heard him say, the combination of decentralized data control and privacy are really the key that is missing right now when it comes to higher adoption. And we agree with this, actually. You probably have heard us agree with this in the past. We've been saying for a while that at least some privacy regarding transactions is necessary. Otherwise, people can all too easily become targets of bad actors. And bad actors, by the way, as Leonard was discussing here, can really come from a multitude of directions. It's almost impossible to anticipate. Better to just keep your guard up in the first place.
Peer-to-peer. That's how we started. But as our society evolved, we brought in middlemen to make things easier. But the middlemen that once offered a helping hand have now gotten out of hand.
I know it's your car, but I did help you guys find each other.
Like this guy, taking half of the cut. Or this delivery girl doing all the work and making next to nothing in return.
Well, I did build the app.
It's everywhere.
I'm just gonna take that. Thank you.
But with Web3, we no longer need a middleman.
Huh?
So it's time we cut him out. It's time to go back to a peer-to-peer system. It's time we hand back ownership to the people. It's time for community-owned apps and services across every domain and industry. By us, for us, on a community-owned network. It's time for a global infrastructure revolution, from energy to mobility to connectivity and so much more. It's time for PEAQ.
So as per the PEAQ team, they see it pretty clearly. They want to use technology to cut out the middleman and take us back to a version of trading that is more peer-to-peer dealings and transactions. One cool example here was with charging stations for electric cars in particular. PEAQ is setting it up such that anyone with an electric car will be able to go, use, and then pay for any charging station on their route. If you think about it, this helps charging station makers like ChargePoint earn even more, and even companies like Tesla can earn more in this way as well. And that's, by the way, all while making it easier for you as an electric car driver to charge your car when you need to. Also, don't forget the PEAQ token, that's PEAQ. The TGE is coming really any day now. I can't tell you exactly when, but the best way to find out is to keep an eye on PEAQ's website and all their social media for more info. That announcement is imminent.
And so if this market pulls back hard under this level and then consolidates and comes back, we're likely to sell and stall.
Last but not least here at number 3, we are looking at PYTH, which is the biggest oracle in the industry, of course, right after Chainlink. Link does have a big lead as a first mover, and it is widely used. But there is room for multiple winners here in this pretty important infrastructure category. There are multiple pieces of pie to be split up here. It's a huge market. And the fact is that we think PYTH will win as well in this space. The distinction here is that PYTH is a financial market oracle only. That is their specialization.
So let's look at how the adoption has been since PYTH has gone cross-chain. 3 new applications integrated PYTH every single week in 2023. PYTH is now available on 35 different blockchains. 3 new blockchains every month have been added. And on about a third of those blockchains, PYTH has a market share of over 90%. On about half of them, PYTH's market share is at 50%.
This was a talk here from last year's Breakpoint conference. First of all, it's clear that PYTH thinks we need cross-chain adoption to be better and more seamless. If more people can transfer assets between chains more easily, then more people are going to use blockchain.
A truly decentralized oracle. Governance will have total control, and here are some of the features that are important to be used.
PYTH is building a truly decentralized oracle, specifically for financial information that traders can rely upon.
If you go to the PYTH website and open one of the price feeds, you will find the price components section. Each component of a price feed is a different publisher contributing their idea of the real-time price for that particular market pair. Data providers also contribute a confidence interval, which is their measure of how confident they are about the price they're publishing. On every slot, the Oracle runs an on-chain transparent aggregation algorithm on the prices and confidence intervals published by each component on the previous slot and produces a single aggregate price and confidence interval. The aggregation mechanism is designed to have 3 main properties. First, to be resistant to manipulation. Second, to weight data sources with different levels of accuracy. For example, when a data provider is more confident about the price than another. And third, to take into account variations between publishers, because assets trade at different prices across different venues. So PYTH does not publish data itself, and it uses an aggregation mechanism to protect the price feeds.
And here is how a price feed works with the publishers publishing what they believe the price is, and how they get to a consensus price through honest aggregation to prevent price manipulation. Now, as you may guess, DeFi and RWA benefit the most here, decentralized finance and real-world assets. Trading and tokenizing of assets is really where PYTH wants to be. RWA, of course, is the sector that's most exciting to the PYTH team and PYTH fans, really, as this is where the growth will primarily come from. PYTH's native token is PYTH, PYTH. It is everywhere, and it's also built on Solana, which ensures that you have a compatible wallet to hold it.